Hello, hello, you beautiful souls. Happy Saturday. Welcome to your afternoon messages. I'm a little delayed because I had some Reiki clients this morning and they were so wonderful. So I am here to help you along your awakening journey this lovely afternoon. We're going to talk life, love, spirituality, and all the things. And in this video specifically, in that realm of life and love, we're going to talk about our abandonment fears, and I'm going to share how I am moving through my abandonment fear. And it has been my biggest block in this lifetime, as if I remember my other lifetimes. But I am 39 years old, and I've had multiple different partners throughout my adult years and teen years, and I have had major heartbreak. A lot of times people leaving me and my heart being shattered into a million little pieces. And I also dealt with the loss of my daughter, which is another huge abandonment wound. A lot of people don't connect that. They don't connect losing a child as an abandonment wound, but it really is. You feel abandoned by your child. You feel like, holy shit, I'm already going to start crying. And that's how you know. This is how I know in my body that is something I still need to release. And I want to offer comfort to all of you that it's possible. You can release this. I have come a long way. Before I couldn't even say my daughter's name without crying, but I've done so much healing and so much body work and awareness and talk therapy that I'm able to talk about it now without crying. So it is possible. But I'm going to show you guys a YouTube video. In this video, I'm recording on Zoom right now just so I can do that. So I can bring up the video so you can see it live. But in this video, there's a guy coaching another woman through her abandonment fears and why she chooses certain partners and why she fears, why she kind of like, why she can't find happiness in partnerships. Like she can never just be at peace and trust that everything's going to be okay. So she kind of like manipulates people and her life to make sure that she stays safe and she doesn't get abandoned. And she also talks about how she abandons other people before they can abandon her. So she runs away. So it's really brave of her to be doing this work and to be doing it on YouTube. So anyway, I also wanted, so in this video, we're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about, what comes up for you as you're watching me talk about this. Are you feeling fear? Are you saying, oh my gosh, Michelle, this is exactly what I need to hear. I lost my dad when I was younger and I feel abandoned by him. So we can hold anger towards loved ones that have died. We can feel abandoned by them. We can feel like they left us. How could they leave us? And I definitely don't have anger towards my daughter. I just have anger towards life that, I felt like I've been abandoned by life. I've been abandoned by people. I've been abandoned by my dad. My dad just recently passed, but even in childhood, like I felt like he wasn't as present as he could have been. He had his own things that he went through that caused him to not be there in times when I needed him. And, his relationship with my mom has shaped me and has made me see that I am choosing partners and attracting certain types of people due to their partnership and what I witnessed. So I invite all of you, as you're listening to this video, to look at your life and see, okay, how is my childhood driving my decisions, driving my connections? How is my trauma keeping me out of love and away from love? How am I building up a wall and saying, no, you're not allowed in because I don't want to get hurt again? And we all have that. It's just some people have it in a different way and on a deeper level. Excuse me, and throat chakra. Clearly I have it. But this week, specifically yesterday, I dealt with, it was like I had fear all day in my body, like everybody was leaving me. Like nobody loved me. Nobody was choosing me. I felt like I opened up my heart to all of these people, and then they just literally walked away and was like, Michelle, you're not good enough, or I'm not going to choose you, or I don't know, it just brought back up all these memories of every boyfriend from my past that didn't choose me. And I had to sit with that and say, and how we deal with that. So to get right into this video, which I already am, is how do we deal with our abandonment wounds? What do we do when those feelings come up? What do we do when that fear comes up? We sit there, we let the emotion pour through us, we cry. I actually was on the treadmill in like the late morning. I actually remember because I got a text while I was on the treadmill. I think it was like at 10:34. So 10:34 yesterday, I'm on the treadmill walking. I had to like straddle the treadmill. I had to stop walking because I had so much emotion inside of me. I was walking and I like couldn't breathe. I had to like straddle the treadmill. I had to take a deep breath and I just cried. And as I'm crying, my phone lights up and it's a girl on Instagram sending me a heart that she found. And at that same moment, I was listening to an intuitive reading on YouTube, and the woman said something like 818. 818 means something to somebody. I just saw the numbers 818. Well, guess what time my dad passed away? My dad passed away, and he was in my arms when he passed. He passed away at 8:18 p.m. So I'm on the treadmill. I'm feeling my abandonment fears. I'm in the moment. I'm straddling the treadmill crying. I hear in my AirPod 818. I start sobbing because I'm like, my dad is like talking to me in this moment saying, shush, I'm with you. I got you. I'm not abandoning you. You're okay. You're safe. And then all of a sudden I get my phone. I'm like totally crying. My phone lights up and it's a freaking heart. And hearts are from my daughter. So in that moment that I was feeling so abandoned, just by life and by all of my past boyfriends, and just me thinking that I'm never going to have a partner and I'm not going to be able to handle being in a partnership with somebody without fearing them leaving me, and thinking like it's never going to happen. I'm never going to have that. And I just have had this fear my whole life. So I'm dealing with it. And I get this heart and I get the 818. So I was like literally losing my mind in the gym, praying. There's like a woman on the spin bike behind me. I'm hoping she's not seeing me cry. And I just started sobbing, like internally, but sobbing on the treadmill, like trying to hide my face, because I felt so much love in that moment from Micah, from my daughter. She sent me the heart. And then the 818 in the YouTube video, and it didn't help the fear. The fear is still there, but to know that we're being guided, we're being watched, we're being protected is what's comforting. So when I left the gym, I came home, I showered, I laid on my floor, my living room floor. I'm like in my towel on my back, like just sobbing, because I'm just like mad at my dad and my daughter. Like, you left me. How could you leave me? I'm here to do this life alone now. I don't have anybody. Meanwhile, I have so many people, but my ego is creating the story. And I'm like, will I ever have a partner? Will I ever feel love again? And then I'm getting like thinking about past boyfriends, and I'm just like feeling that betrayal, feeling that, I was dating this one person and I just had this intuition that he was interested in somebody else. It's like my intuition just knew it. I just knew it. And the person that I thought he was interested in was in like a friend group, right? It was like a group of women. And I just was like, I feel like he's connected to these women in some way. I don't know if he's cheating on me. And now fast forward to however many years later, he's married to one of those girls in that circle. So it's like, I knew it. And I don't know if he cheated on me. If he did, he never owned up to it, but I felt like he did. But he ended up breaking up with me like a month later after we were just talking about marriage. And it was devastating. I was skin and bones. I felt so abandoned. I felt betrayed. I just felt like he wasn't honest because he ended up marrying her, right? So the fact that his dishonesty, like him not being honest, saying his true feelings, through the partnership, is what wrecked me. I think I wouldn't have felt so abandoned if he would have just opened up and said, hey, I don't think we're right for each other. But he didn't do that. And it ended up being slithery and slimy and just, I don't know. And then what's even crazier, what made the abandonment even worse, was we got back together like a couple months later, and he was like critiquing my body. I remember him like grabbing my butt at one point, like, because we were making out, whatever. And he was like, "Where'd your butt go?" And I wanted to be like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I am skin and bones because you broke my heart. And now you're asking me where my butt went." And in that moment, I was like, what am I doing with this person? Why did I invest so much time with them? All they care about is my physical body. Like, are you kidding me? So imagine right now, if a situation like this has happened to you, where somebody has abandoned you and then kind of verbally abused you and critiqued your body and is basically knocking you down after they just wrecked you, what lesson was that for me? Like, looking back, what did I need to learn? I needed to learn to stand in my power. I needed to learn that I deserve better. I needed to learn that, like, the universe was moving him away from me for a reason, and I should be grateful. But instead, back then, I wasn't awakened. I wasn't aware of all this. I was just broken. And I was trying to cling because of my childhood, because I felt abandoned as a kid, because I felt abandoned by my daughter. This was post-loss. I just was clinging because I didn't want anybody to leave me. I didn't care who they were. I didn't care what they did. I didn't care what they said. I just said, don't leave. So imagine a little 5-year-old girl, like, and I got my pigtails in today for my inner child to be playful and fun. Anytime I wear my hair like this, I just want to be a kid. But I wanted to bring that life back into me again and not be so fearful of life and not be afraid to love and let my inner child out to play and to be free and not be so constricted in life, because I refuse to let how yesterday made me feel. I refuse to let that affect my future partnerships. And the way we do this, so here's the nitty-gritty of this video. So how do we heal this abandonment, right? How do we heal the fact that maybe you've been adopted and you just feel so abandoned by your birth parents? Maybe you had a parent pass away at a young age. Maybe you had multiple people cheat on you and leave you. What do we do with these emotions, right? What we have to do is we have to take a deep breath. And we have to say, it is okay to be abandoned in my body. It is okay to be abandoned in my body. It is okay to be in my body and to be abandoned. I still love myself. I love my inner child. I will take care of little Michelle. I will hug her. I will love her. No matter who leaves, I will be here for me. We build the connection with ourselves. When we are not connected to our own hearts, we yearn to hold on to other people because we rely on them for love. And then when we see that they're leaving and they're going to abandon us, it feels like death. It feels like we're going to die. We're going to die if they leave us. I can't do this again. I can't risk being in a relationship because what if they break my heart? I'm going to die if that happens. But you're not. I'm here to tell you that I am proof that you will not die. You can lose a child. You can lose a parent. You can have people cheat on you. You can have people criticize your body after they just broke your heart. You can have so many things happen to you. You can have cancer. You can have whatever, and you can still survive and thrive because your soul came here to break through these fears. We came here to live with freedom and to live with passion and joy and excitement for life. We're not meant to live in fear of all these bad things poking at us and hurting us. Some people live in fear in their mind 24/7. They're always thinking of the negative thing that's going to happen. Well, one day they're going to go through an awakening and they're going to wake up and see, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've been thinking that way my whole life. I've not been seeing the beauty in life. I've been not appreciating the outdoors. I haven't been appreciating a smile from a stranger. I've always been thinking, how is this going to hurt me? How is this person going to hurt me? How is this situation going to leave me feeling less than? And The way we heal this fear is we sit with it and we tell our bodies, I'm okay. It's okay to be abandoned. I don't fear it. It's okay. I can be abandoned in this body, and I know that I still love myself. And it is okay if emotions surface, and it is okay if fear surfaces, or jealousy, or resentment from my past. I welcome it. So if I was in a partnership and I was feeling the way I was feeling yesterday, which would be, I would be thinking that my partner found somebody else. I would be thinking that my partner doesn't think I'm good enough, or that my body's not good enough because of that past ex that told me that my body wasn't good enough and he wasn't pleased with it. You know, all of those stories were flooding my mind yesterday. And what I have to realize, and what we have to realize, is they're just stories. The past is not going to repeat itself. It will repeat itself if we don't, because we're going to attract another situation to create that. The universe is going to keep bringing us that situation until we heal this. So if you've been avoiding your abandonment fears and you're staying quiet and you're staying small and you're like, nope, I don't want to venture out because I don't want to feel this, open up your chest and say, universe, I want to freaking heal this. I don't want to feel this anymore. I don't want to be scared of anything in my life. I want to be fearless. And sometimes this surfaces with, I know with certain family members of mine, like cousins and relatives, like distant relatives, I've talked to them, and they've talked about having fear with their kids, not loving them back. So it could be, kids playing, like having favorites, having a favorite parent, or kids choosing their friends in high school instead of hanging out with their parents. Or losing that connection, right? You're losing that connection to your children, and you just spent, however many years raising them and loving them and pouring your heart into them. So you fear them leaving you. And that it's all the same. It's the same as you fear being in love and getting your heart broken. You fear losing your child, whether it's losing them through death or losing them through them just personality wise, them maybe not wanting to lean on you with their problems, not wanting to come to you, not trusting you. It is an innate fear. We fear that we're not going to have that. But once we're aware of it and we welcome it and we say, it's okay, it's okay if my kid wants to spend time with somebody else. I trust that the love is still there. I'm not going to lose it. I'm not going to lose the love. And you guys, I'm proof. I've lost my daughter. The love gets stronger. And a lot of people say they wouldn't be able to do it, but you can. You have no choice if it happens to you. I had no choice. I had to learn how to adapt. And I wasn't perfect. I did stupid shit after my loss. I wasn't healthy. But I was surviving, right? But I do still have this built up abandonment fear in my body, which surfaced yesterday. And the way we work through it with family members, with partners, with spouses, is we talk about it. And we say, partner, my person, I'm having a lot of fear showing up. I need to say it. I need to talk about it. Please allow me to say this right now, because it is something inside of me. It doesn't change the way I feel about you. It is something from my past that I am fearing. And it will surface in, I don't trust you. It will surface in, I don't want my kid going there because I'm afraid I'll lose them. It surfaces in all these different ways. And once we can identify it and say, oh my gosh, that's why I just told my partner I didn't trust them. It's because it was something that I was dealing with. I do trust them, but it's just my past. I'm thinking my past is going to repeat itself, and it's going to be like that ex-boyfriend that I didn't trust. And I ended up being right. And I ended up seeing him end up with the people that I thought, he was cheating on me with. So it's this awareness of what's coming up in me. I'm feeling this abandonment. It's okay to be abandoned in my body. It's okay. I still love myself. I have a connection with me. Little Michelle, I love you. I'm going to take care of you. We're going to play today. We're going to have some fun. Nobody's going to leave you. I got you. I got you. I got you. And we talk to ourselves. You have to talk to your inner child and build that connection. So speaking of that, I'm going to show you the video real fast. I'm going to share my screen. because I believe this will work while I'm recording. And hopefully the sound, share sound. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So when he left, did he leave?
Yeah, essentially. I left. I was visiting and then I left.
But how did the relationship end? You guys didn't choose long distance, or you just said we don't want to do long distance, or was there like a...
So real fast, this is a video about this woman in a new partnership, but she's been questioning whether he's the one. And she had this brief, intimate connection with a high school boyfriend the year prior. And she said there was so much passion that she was wondering why there's no passion in this current partnership. But he explains to her that her ego created this story around her ex because it was from childhood and she was feeling that abandonment fear. So she was drawing in somebody who was unavailable because they were long distance. So she attracted somebody who wasn't available so that she could course correct. And he's unavailable, so he's going to abandon her. So she attracted somebody that was prone to abandon her. So our ego kind of creates that. I'll let you guys watch.
What was the...
Yeah, I guess I was asking for clarity and he was like, well, I can't give you what, you're interested in, I'm way over here and you're there and it's just not going to work. So, and I was proud of myself that I said I wanted, these specific things. But that's not something he could give.
Was his vibe fully that he is connected in his body, is fully safe, is a present man that would be a good father? There's a reason I ask.
I feel like he was coming towards that. I mean, he already is a father from a different relationship. I think he is good. He is connected. I think that there is some exploration he wanted to do himself about who he really is.
Did he
down.
tell you any of that first?
He told me that. No.
Did he tell you anything that signaled and you knew he was long distance, but that he might not be fully available?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what I'm trying to point out to you. The people that you think are the one are usually the abandonee people.
Oh.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You feel a high with them because we don't want to feel abandoned. So to not feel abandoned, what we're trying to do is egoically change it. Most people that don't want to feel abandoned find the most unavailable people so that they can fix it. It's what they're saying is, I could change my childhood if I find a person who would abandon me and stop them from abandoning me.
Yes, I feel like I'm always doing that. Oh
Right.
my gosh, it's so frustrating.
Right. I'll tell you something to your ego. A dude that's grounded, that's ready, that's cleared all of the other stuff, that's ready, present, and wants you, probably would bore you.
That's kind of like who I'm dating.
Yes. Okay. That's big, right? Because I don't know anything about him, but
He's met you a couple times and he went to Evolving Out Loud in person.
It's like my dad.
No.
I'm like, he'll abandon you. That's awesome. So this is interesting because sometimes the passion you felt for the guy from high school.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, what the heck?
Well, the passion often is the ego going, oh, this is the fix to my ego. That's often like, if we're talking a good 20, 30-year relationship, sometimes that diehard passion, holy shit. I mean, where else do you find that passion? When you win the lottery, when you're drunk, when you do a drug, do you get what I'm saying? That level of holy shit, right? It's going to be hard to keep that going for 40 years, right?
Yeah.
So So we're trying to capture the passion that we have in the moment and then make it go the long term. But if you want the long term, what we instead got to do is start, first of all, the ego chooses people that it wants to fix so that it can fix the childhood, right?
Yeah.
So the soul, when you start to connect with your soul, this is why meditation is so important, everybody. When you start to connect with your soul, you start to ask, what does the soul want? Right? The ego goes, I don't want to be abandoned anymore. So who would abandon me? I'm going to change them. The soul goes, who would not abandon me? Right? But then you got no challenge. The ego's got nothing to fix.
Yeah.
Right? So the ego's got nothing to fix. This person's actually staying here. They give a shit about my feelings. They care. They're present. I'll tell you something truly I felt when I read your question. This is really what I felt without just reading it. I could be wrong. I don't know him other than meeting him a couple times. He's a good guy. This is what I felt in your question. He's a good guy. Like he could be a good fit. And the trying to grab him in the long run, right? The wanting the challenge and then the overcoming of the challenge, right? Like these things have got to go. The part of the way we're actually going to heal the abandonment is it doesn't have to be him. I'm not telling you what to do. But we are going to choose someone who's grounded in themselves, who's in town, who is present, who cares about your feelings, who doesn't show signs of just going with the wind. Yeah. Right. And anyone that does that, that's fine. That's not judgment. I'm just saying, if you want to heal the abandonment, we find someone who is less likely to abandon you. And I can tell you right now, the fact that your ego has nothing to fix, that's one thing that for sure is freaking you out about this guy. There's nothing for you to fix. That you're bored because he's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So how perfect was that? And I can relate to that so much because sometimes we meet people and we're like, how are you so perfect? You know, I don't need to fix anything about you. You're just here and you satisfy all of my needs. And that also can stir up the ego and say, this is too good to be true. You can't have this. You can't have it all. So then the ego can also go in that direction where it makes something that's really easy. It all of a sudden makes it unattainable. And it can also make us scared to jump into it because then we fear losing that. So our mind is really, really tricky. The ego is so tricky. It knows your soft spots. It knows exactly where to poke you. And that abandonment wound, wasn't that crazy when he talked about how, you know, when that our ego for our whole life, it's always trying to create scenarios to fix. It wants to fix what was not right in childhood. So we attract, and to be honest, I am definitely somebody who attracts unavailable people. And it's my ego wanting to, because I saw my parents fight a lot in childhood, and I always wanted to save my dad. I always wanted to be like, my gosh, my throat chakra is crazy. I always wanted to save him. I loved him so much. I didn't want to see him or my mom suffer. It's like we want to fix it, right? So now my whole life I've gone around, and I think it's a big piece of why I do the work I do is because I want to help people. I don't want to fix them. I just want them to be happy, and I just want to offer them the tools that they could use to be happier. But in intimate partnerships, I tend to attract people that are not available, and people, you know, whether they're literally physically available, like single, or whether they're emotionally not available. And I have this gift of being able to help people become available. But in the long term, I don't ever get my needs met, you know, and I have recently met somebody who meets my needs. It's the first time in my life where this person, like, I don't know, I just feel like they see me. I feel like they understand me. I feel like they listen to me. I feel like they take action to nurture me, where all of my previous people, it almost felt like I was used. but I allowed that, right? My ego was trying to fix it. My ego was trying to fix them. And for the first time, I found somebody that I don't need to fix him. you know, he's just perfect the way he is. And I just witness him and yikes. And I just want him to be so happy. It's so funny that this just fell a little sign that this is really good that I'm talking about this, but I don't need to fix him. He's like perfect the way he is. And I just love him the way he is. He's just adorable and sweet and kind and patient and sturdy and just amazing. So it's like my fear yesterday was he's going to find something wrong with me. Or it's not going to work out the way I want it to work out, or he's going to leave me. Everybody leaves me. My dad left me. Micah left me. It's just not going to happen for me in this lifetime. So those stories start to come up. So that was my ego, my abandonment fear surfacing yesterday, but it's so important for me to talk about it. And I know for me, and I don't know for all of you, but we have to talk about it. We have to express it. We have to give it air. We have to let it be there and say, okay, this is not you. This is all inside of me. This doesn't affect my trust for you, but this affects my ability to show up in the partnership, in the connection, in the parent-child bond, whatever it is. And if you think about with parents and children, you're not going to go tell your child, you can't ever leave me, you have to do this, you have to do that. And maybe there's some parents that do that, but that's just like pushing your kid further away. It's like strangling them and saying like, you're on a leash, you're staying with me, you're not going anywhere. No, we want our children to feel free. We want to encourage our kids to be free. And I'm so glad I just said that, because I just had a Reiki session with a wonderful woman, and I was hovering over her solar plexus, which is her power center. And I kept getting visions of her son. And I told her, I was like, listen, I was like, your son's coming up right now. And she just had so much gratitude for him. She had so much gratitude for the fact that because she started her healing journey, and because she's making progress and she's on this path and she's doing the work, he is a teenager and he's seeing it. And he is gravitating towards his mom. So by her healing herself and her abandonment wounds and everything she's been through her divorce and all of her situations, she is choosing herself. And guess what? She is magnetically drawing her son closer to her. And I'm sure she felt discord for a while, like he might have been going the other direction. But now he's like, Mom, what are you doing? You're so happy all the time. I don't understand it. Like, you don't have a partner yet, and you're not like, a millionaire. How come you're just so happy? So she's energetically teaching her son how to be happy in the present moment, not having to have everything figured out, and trusting the universe. So energetically, if you have children and you fear them abandoning you one day, or maybe choosing another parent as the favorite, you just feel like you're losing them. That's because you've lost yourself. It's because you're not connected to you. When you're in your joy, when you're feeling good in your life, people feel that, and people are drawn to you. Now, I don't want you to go doing work on yourself just so you're not going to get abandoned. I want you to do the work on yourself because you love yourself and you want to feel good in life, and you don't want to have to deal with these fears. We can move through the fear. We can heal our abandonment wounds by allowing it to be there, right? I can feel abandoned in my body. I take care of myself. I love myself. I have nothing to fear. I am okay. I am okay. I am okay. Everybody could leave me and I would still be okay. We repeat that to ourselves. And then we talk about it with the people that we love. We say, listen, this is coming up for me. I'm feeling a bunch of fear today. I just need you to know that. Thank you so much for listening. And I say thank you like a million times, because I know what it's doing for me when I talk about it. When I talk about it, I'm getting rid of it. I'm not going to go to bed with it. The minute you speak it, it's out of your body. And there's more layers, it'll come up again, just like my abandonment fears about my ex. That was probably from like 2017, and it's 2022 now. So like, and I forgot to mention, so as I was on the floor yesterday crying, guess what happened? I get a text message from my niece that says, hey, I just saw so-and-so, whatever. She literally saw my ex yesterday. I haven't heard his name, talked about him in years. And my niece texted me yesterday that she saw him and talked to him as I'm on the floor crying about the fact that he hurt me. And I'm sure I hurt him too. So it's a two-way street. I'm sure it wasn't easy for him to break up with me, but it definitely was crazy that I attracted him into my world yesterday because I was thinking about him. The universe is saying, I got your back. But how wild is that? So I was destined to do that healing yesterday. I needed it. I needed to get that out. And Kyle, that guy in that YouTube video, he talks about like having a glass of water, right? And when you have a trauma or when you have somebody that broke your heart, if you've never cried about it and if you've never released it, that cup is full. So your mission is to empty that cup out. You have to cry about it. You have to talk about it. You got to release it and find somebody that you feel safe with to do that. Because once you find one person to talk about it with, you're emptying that cup. And guess what it does? It doesn't affect you moving forward as harshly or as sharply as it would if the cup was still full. So yesterday, if I hadn't dealt with those fears a couple of years ago and did any kind of healing work, yesterday would have been a nightmare. And today I would not be doing this video. I wouldn't have been able to clear it so quickly. I wouldn't have been able to talk about it. I would have bottled it up. I would have held it in. I would have ignored my partner if I had one. I would have told them, I'm fine. I don't want to talk about it. I wouldn't have faced it. So when we need to heal our abandonment wounds, we have to allow it to be there. We need to comfort our inner child. We need to talk about it. And then we need to take action to move out of the fear. So when you're in it, allow it to be there. But then it's also important to go be a kid again, to wear your hair in braids, to go be fun, to go do something, sing, dance, laugh, play, go for a drive in your car, blaring the music, connect with somebody that's from your childhood that makes you feel good, and start to shift your energy around it and create a better reality for yourself. Because you're not meant to stay in that kind of fear. It is real. I'm telling you, I felt like I was going to die yesterday. That fear of somebody leaving you and somebody not choosing you, it's a feeling you're feeling from childhood, from a past relationship, from somebody cheating on you, from somebody passing away, and you're allowed to feel it. It's okay. So I know this video was heavy. It was a lot. I hope you guys gained something from it. I hope this taught you that you are not your fears and you don't have to live the rest of your life not in love with people because of that fear. You don't have to fear people leaving you. You are worthy, and make sure you're mindful of what your ego is attracting. Because if you find somebody that is really easy and you look at them and you're like, I just genuinely love looking at them. Like, I just can't wait to hear what they're going to say next. That's not work. It's just easy. And they care about you back and they want to hear your feelings. That's healthy connection, right? Our ego is going to be drawn to the opposite. Your ego is going to be drawn to the unhealthy connection, and it's going to want to keep you there because it's something to fix. And that's what you want to leave. You want to break free from that trauma bond because that's not your truest nature. You're allowed to have an easy and effortless love. You're allowed to have somebody that cares about you. Your ego is going to want the opposite though. So being mindful of what is the ego and what is your soul. Your soul will gravitate to love. It'll gravitate to what's easy. Your ego wants to work hard and it thinks you should be punished and you should stay in this because you've made bad choices in your life. No, we turn off that voice and we choose love. We step away from the fear. I pulled a page to end this little morning message or afternoon message. And it's funny, I pulled employment. It says, there are people looking for exactly what you have to offer, and you are being brought together on the checkerboard of life. So this message is for somebody who's at a crossroads in their career. You're going to be brought to the people that need you. What you have inside of you is special, and people need it. But it might not be time yet, but you're going to be brought those people. So let's hear what it has to say. It says, I rejoice in my employment. My job is to express God. I rejoice in this employment. I give thanks for every opportunity to demonstrate the power of divine intelligence to work through me. Anytime I am presented with a challenge, I know it's an opportunity from God, my employer, and I quiet my intellect, turn within, and wait for words of treatment to fill my mind. I accept these blessed revelations with joy and know that I'm worthy of my just reward for a job well done. In exchange for this exhilarating job, I am abundantly compensated. My fellow employees, all humankind, are supportive, loving, cheerful, enthusiastic, and powerful workers in the field of spiritual unfoldment, whether they choose to be aware of it or not. I see them as perfect expressions of the one mind, diligently applying themselves to their jobs. Working for this unseen yet ever-present chief operating officer, the ultimate chairman of the board, I know that my creative activity elicits financial abundance for the job of expressing God is ever rewarded. And so it is. So in every single moment of your day, you are doing a job. You are showing up for yourself. You're showing up for your family. And the right people will be brought to you at the right time in order for you to express yourself in the way that you're being called to. And it can be really, really hard to not know your path and to surrender and wake up every single day. Archangel Michael, please show me the way. Show me where you want me. Where can I be best of service? If I'm not supposed to be at this job, please move me. I surrender. I will find joy where I'm at. I won't resist it. And I know that you will guide me to where I'm best needed, I guess you could say. I know you will guide me to where I am best needed. Because sometimes we don't know that we're needed places when we are, and that's why the universe has us there. Sometimes there's some healing that needs to occur, and when you resist it, it persists. So the minute we relax and we say, okay, I was brought here to meet these people, to do this healing, to face my fears, to see my worth, to see that this is not what I want to be doing. And it's just, sometimes it's just meant to be. And you trust that you'll be moved, or you'll get and when I say moved, I mean like you'll come up with an idea one day, you'll meet somebody, and then you'll take that leap and resign or leave that job. Or the job will move you when the universe is like, yay, you learned your lesson. Now it's time to get out. So keep in mind, don't overthink your employment. If you're feeling the call to go do something different, know that your body and your soul will guide you. You're not alone. You don't have to fear being abandoned. It's okay to be abandoned in our body, right? It's okay because we love ourselves. We have plenty of people to support us. It's not death, even though it might feel like it some days. But come to me and I will give you a hug and tell you that you're not dying. Because I needed somebody to do that to me yesterday. But I did it for myself, and that's what matters. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Sending you so much love, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.